Most often, it's the small things in an interview that determine success versus failure. Let's watch Heidi in this interview and see how professional she is.
Hi, are you Heidi?
Yes. Hi. Hi.
Thank you for coming to meet with me today. Do you have your resume?
I do.
First impressions matter. Make sure that your appearance matches your message. How you dress for an interview can be a powerful extension of your professional brand. Take a cue from the individual seen here. The appropriate clothes, accessories, and even the footwear you choose will help to reinforce your skills. While cell phones are everywhere, make sure that they don't show up with you at the interview. One glance at a phone communicates that you're bored or not interested in the job.
All right, well, let's go ahead and begin. Why don't you start by telling me a little bit more about yourself?
Okay, I guess maybe it just depends on what you want to know, but let's see, I grew up in this town.
Many interviewers like to kick off the interview with a question such as, "Tell me about yourself." Instead of recounting your whole life story, be brief and share a recent, memorable accomplishment. Here's an interesting statistic. HR managers are noticing an increase in candidates who exhibit a poor presentation of self.
What do you think you can contribute to our organization?
Well, I guess I was trying to figure out a little bit more about you guys, but I don't know too much. So I was wondering if maybe you could just tell me a little bit more about what you guys do.
Spending only a few minutes online learning about the organization is not enough. Prepare for the interview by thoroughly researching. Know what they do and how your future job impacts the organization. Let's take another look.
From what I was doing my research, I could see that you guys really value intimate relationships with your clientele. So it's definitely something that I have experience with managing those relationships. And I think that that's something that I could definitely contribute.
Explore the organization's website. Search the news and social media for recent company updates. About 30% of HR managers think that candidates are not prepared for the interview or lack knowledge about the company.
So with that in mind, why don't you tell me about what your understanding is of the job is that you're applying for?
Well, I guess now that you've kind of talked about the organization a little bit, I feel like maybe my skill set would be a lot geared more towards maybe what you do. So I don't know if there's a position like that available, but that would be really good.
Okay, well, it's certainly an interesting position, one that typically you would start as an associate and work your way up to over a couple of years.
Okay, great. That sounds good.
While aspirations are good, be careful on how you share them. You don't want to sound entitled or overconfident. More than 53% of HR managers feel a sense of entitlement has increased during the past 5 years.
All right, while you were earning your degree, tell me more about your extracurricular activities you were involved with.
Sure, well, so mainly I was a resident assistant, but that was like a lot of work. So there's always somebody, who's angry at somebody else, always two people fighting. And
when sharing previous job experiences, don't complain or speak poorly of others. Be positive.
Right, sounds like it was a crazy experience for you. Would you say that your grades are representative of your academic achievements?
I think they could be, I guess, at times, but see, like years that I was in college, especially in the beginning, I wasn't really interested in what I was studying because it wasn't in my major. So I was pretty
We're not perfect.
with what I was
Demonstrate your
learning.
accountability and responsibility by owning up to your mistakes. Explain how you turned things around and what you learned.
So to be honest with you, I think that in the very beginning, it might not be. I did struggle with my transition from high school to college for that first year, but once I kind of realized I was struggling, I reached out to my faculty and my advisors, and they really helped me turn that around so I could be very proud of what I accomplished.
Good for you.
According to over 400 college and university faculty from across the country, the most important quality of a college student's professionalism is accepting personal responsibility for their actions. Silence at the end of the interview may communicate that you're not really interested in the job. Plan ahead and be prepared to ask 2 to 3 thoughtful questions.
So as we wrap up today, do you have any questions for me?
I do. I'm just wondering what it would be like for someone like me coming in. What could I expect my first year here?
Sure.
Effective questions might include, why do you like working here? What are a couple of key personality traits that are essential for this position's success? Recently, HR managers have seen a jump in the number of candidates who lack interest and are not asking questions during interviews. For your next interview, what will you do differently? Remember, it's the small things that demonstrate your professionalism.